Travis Hunter is going to be special at Jackson State for more than just football. Like, literally, way more than just football. I'm going to talk to you about it right after the bumper. What's good people? Jeff Lightsy Jr. here with the Black Boss channel and Victory Formation. Thank you guys for tuning in. Be sure to hit the thumbs up button, like, share, subscribe, and the notification bell because we upload every single day. Now, as you all remember, Jackson State pulled off a recruiting miracle in bringing in the #1 player in the entire country, Travis Hunter. He will enroll at Jackson State for next fall. He will be a football player on the team, and Deion Sanders head coach, Coach Prime, has already said the young man is going to play both ways. But so I can tell you all about Travis Hunter stats. I can show you all the Travis Hunter highlights. And that was honestly what I intended to do today. I intended to come on here to talk to you guys about, talk about how good Travis Hunter actually is. Like, stars and rankings and all that stuff. It means something. Let's not get it twisted. It means something. But Coach Prime told us on I Am Athlete that he can make a phone call and make a guy a 4-star or 5-star. Some guys in high school don't even have great stats and end up being 4 or 5 stars. But Travis Hunter's the real deal. He's different. He's actually really special. He goes out there and competes against the best high school players in the country, and he comes out on top. And I can show you, like I said, I can show you highlights. I can do all of that stuff. But that's not what I'm here today to talk about, even though that's what I planned on doing. I'm actually going to talk to you and show you some stuff about why Travis Hunter is going to mean way more to HBCU sports than whatever he accomplishes on the field. And it comes after he made when he committed, he made a statement, and he wrote a statement that was so eloquent, so beautiful, and so great. And I'm going to show you that again, but he put out a tweet today that really touched me and that really let me know that this young man is going to be special at Jackson State more than just football. Now, you got to remember, this is a 17, 18-year-old kid. I mean, we're talking about 17, 18-year-old kid who just made a decision that a lot of people criticized him for, who just made a decision a lot of people say could ultimately hurt his future. And instead of, whining and complaining and fighting back with ugly words against these naysayers, these, punks that are out here trying to attack this 17, 18-year-old kid, he puts out a statement like this. Let's read this together. This is from Travis Hunter. This comes out today, December 21st. He said, "I'm so grateful for the massive support." Never acknowledges the naysayers or the haters. He's grateful for the massive support. "I'm honored. Thank you. But while you're here," because he knows the spotlight is on him, "let me nudge the spotlight over to HBCUs. Let's massively support them. Alumni, grantors, athletes. It's going to take all of us. Who's with me? This is our moment." I mean, nobody forced this kid to do that. Nobody is putting a gun to this kid's head and say, "Hey, put out this statement regarding Jackson State," or "put out this statement regarding HBCUs," or "do this or do that." This young man who just made a decision that he was highly criticized for. Now, we praised him. Our people, we praised him. We loved everything about him going to Jackson State. Even the people that don't even like Jackson State praised this young man. But there were a whole lot of people in mainstream media. And when I say us, our people, it was us local, YouTube guys, people that cover HBCU sports that loved it. There were you guys on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook that loved it. But there were a whole lot of national pundits, Doug Gottlieb, to specify one, that went on and bashed this kid on Twitter, bashed him over national airways, bashed this young man for the decision that Doug Gottlieb said would ultimately hurt his future. But instead of acknowledging the ugly that guys like Doug Gottlieb did, this young man instead thanks you, thanks us, and says, let's not just make this a moment. Let's make this a movement. Now, I'm kind of putting words in his mouth, but that's what I read. He said, this is our moment, but let's not just make it a moment, because a moment is a flash in the pan. It just happens, right? Let's make this a movement. Let's push this thing to the high heavens. Let's take this to a place it's never been before. Because although HBCUs have had special players like Travis Hunter, way before rankings or stars or any of that thing was even a thing, they've had special moments in their history. But they never had an opportunity like this since integration. They never had an opportunity or a movement since integration, since the Power Fives, the SECs, all the big time programs that didn't want black people, since they started integrating. But now Travis Hunter, single-handedly almost, is trying to not make this a moment, but a movement. And that is what you call special. I had to, when I saw this tweet, I was floored. Because nobody told this young man. He doesn't have to do this. He does not have to do this at all. And instead, he chose to use his star power, because he does have star power, to do this for HBCUs. That is special. I mean, that like, I can't put into words how that makes me feel as a black man, as a black person, how that should make you feel, how that should make HBCUs feel. No, whether you're a MEAC guy, a SWAC guy, a FAMU guy, Jackson State, South Carolina State, whoever. This young man is really trying to make this a movement, and I think he's going to be able to do it. With the help of Coach Prime, with guys like Eddie George, Buddy Pugh, Hugh Jackson, etc., etc. This is going to be a movement. And if you don't think Travis Hunter has star power and what that tweet means anything, let me show you something. This is this young man's recruiting profile. He signed at Jackson State. Look at that ranking. Look at all those ones. The ones mean number one. That means ain't nobody over you. Ain't no zero in the ranking. National, he's number one. Cornerback, he's number one. State of Georgia, he's number one. That's both on the composite. So what composite means, for those of you who aren't familiar with recruiting rankings, there's 24/7. 247 Sports is just 247 Sports. They have him as a 100. Well, hell, last I checked, you know what I'm saying? You can't get really much higher than a 100. They say he's damn near a perfect prospect. Now, I'm not going to put that on that young man. I'm going to knock on wood. But they say he's about as good as you can get as a prospect. And they have him national, number one nationally, number one cornerback, and number one in Georgia. But see, the cool thing about 247 is that they just don't show you their rankings. They do a composite rankings of like their rankings combined with like ESPN's ranking, combined with Rivals ranking, and combined with On3, which is the new one, On3 rankings. And so they put all those composites, all the other rankings, and then they give you a ranking with that. And that's what a lot of people go off of, that composite ranking. And still, with all the other recruiting, the major recruiting sites, he's still number one in the nation, number one cornerback, and number two in Georgia. Albeit some of those other rankings after he signed with Jackson State. And this is the politics game they play in like the recruiting rankings. Albeit when he signed with Jackson State, ESPN moved him from number one to number two. On3 moved him from number one to number three. So there's some sick politics stuff, but he still ended up being the number one player because that's what he is. And see that right up there? He is signed with Jackson State, a 6'1", 165 cornerback, class of 2022. This young man is special, man, and I cannot wait to see him in the vet in front of 60,000 and all the cameras, all the media, all the everybody that's going to want a piece of Travis Hunter, and all he's doing is continuing to shine the light on HBCU programs. You can't do anything but tip your hat to that young man, because that is special at 18 years old to decide to do something like that when he could be doing anything else in the world but tweeting out things in support of HBCUs. Leave your thoughts in the chat. Leave your thoughts in the comments on Travis Hunter and the spotlight that he is going to bring to HBCU programs. My name is Jeff Lightsy Jr. with the Black Boss channel and Victory Formation. Subscribe to my YouTube channel, Jeff Lightsy Jr., for more content like that. And you can follow me on Instagram and Twitter at JLightsy7. That is at JLightsy7. Thank you guys for tuning in, and I will see you next time. Peace.